Welcome again to The Man Who Woke Up the Buddha. This is Season 2, Episode 10, entitled Peaches and Cream. Previously, Sid became oddly ornery as he explained to Marcus that all that is isn't all that is. Even the Buddha wondered why Sid was going off script, but since there isn't any script in the first place, he wasn't particularly concerned. If places where fresh food is hard to find are food deserts, Vermont is a food jungle, especially in summer. There's fresh food everywhere. Co-ops, farmers markets, even supermarkets, home gardens, community gardens, and farm stands large and small. The word locavore goes without saying. Marcus and Leila grew their own tomatoes, basil, and new red potatoes. They got corn on the cob and peaches from a neighbor across the street. The cream for whipping from a farm less than a mile away. Beer from a brewery downtown. Even the wine came from a small vineyard 20 miles away. During summer, dinner wasn't so much a specific meal as a vague flow of time in the evening when food and drink appeared as the spirit or hunger moved them, while they talked, worked, read books, made phone calls, and stared at everything, from the solo fuzzy yellow caterpillar on the railing to the spectrum of greens and the maple leaves. Even the squirrels seemed to chill out from their obsessive nut gathering and spend their evenings cavorting high in the canopy. The barred owl that Leila saw on her morning walk that day had just begun finding its rhythm for the evening. "So how did he seem?" Leila asked, as she brought a plate full of corn on the cob out onto the porch. "I told you on the phone." "You told me what he said, and did, but that doesn't really tell me how he is." Marcus sighed. He reached for an ear of corn, but then sat back. "All over the place. Sometimes he's typical Sid being a wise-ass, except he's being a wise-ass about enlightenment, a word I never heard coming out of his mouth before. Other times he just seems confused, spaced out, or turns into a regular old tired guy with cancer who wants to go to sleep." The confrontational thing was a new one. "And then walking me through a classic body scan? Reminded me of that time I wandered into a meditation class during a convention in Philly, and I had to sit on a chair because I didn't want to ruin my suit. Can't really cross my legs anymore anyway. What it was like to have this young girl telling me to have sensation in the palms of my hands and watch my breathing and let my mind empty and not be troubled by the arising and falling of thoughts. And my main thought was that Kesey and I were doing this way before she was born. Having Sid do it is, if possible, even stranger." Marcus paused to put a piece of mozzarella on a thick slice of tomato, with a basil leaf on top. Leila watched in mock horror as he took a bite, and most of the tomato dribbled down his chin. "It was like having your insurance agent teach you yoga." They looked at each other. "Needs work," she said. "Well, you know what I mean. And just when you think, who knows, maybe he's read some books or is channeling or something, he's talking about Archimedes and Plato and Edison, and holding an apple like he's never seen one in his life, and speculating whose head William Tell shot one off of." "His sons," Leila said. "Where were you when I needed you?" Marcus broke an ear of corn in half, rolled it in butter, sprinkled it with salt, and put it down after one bite. "Of course, your brownie might have had something to do with it." "I did put a little extra in for him," she said proudly. "He appreciates it. Anyway, sometimes I wish he'd just cut the act and tell me what he's really going through. I mean, he's going to die. You'd think he'd talk to his best friend about it." "Well, sometimes that's the last person you want to talk to," Leila said. Marcus wasn't really listening. "All I'm saying," Leila said, but stopped when she saw Marcus wasn't really listening, sensing how badly he wanted to get it right, wondering how many kernels would get stuck in her teeth. "Actually, Leila, same time, that seemed out of character for him, for both of us, to talk about our feelings." He said the word dismissively. "Well, Mark, this would seem like a reasonable time for the two of you to," she searched for the words, "acknowledge what you both know, what you already know, but never admit. Just acknowledge it. Hey, go all the way. Give him a hug. Be the last frontier. Sid likes frontiers." "You mean, I love you, bro." "That ain't gonna happen." "That's not what I mean." "Well, what do you mean? I do love him. He loves me. We love ourselves. We know that. You want some public display of affection, even if the public's just the two of us?" She sighed. "You two are always so... But it can get tiresome. You know that." Marcus started to say, "So don't listen," but held back just in time. "We can talk about anything and everything," Marcus continued, "as long as we act like we don't take any of it too seriously." He laughed and added in a pseudo-romantic voice, "It would ruin the mood." "So instead, he is, dismantling a 2,500-year-old sacred teaching." "You're over," Leila started to say, but then figured it was probably better to wait till his train of thought stopped at the next station before she put in her 2 cents. "But no, that's not what he's really doing. He's not just saying that what is isn't, or what isn't is. He's saying that whatever is or isn't is just the beginning of what really is or isn't." The explanation gave Marcus a few moments of peace, as if he knew what he was talking about finally, or at least understood at last what was bothering him so much. "I mean, I know that I'm the Buddha thing is just a joke," he continued. "What's throwing me is he's talking about this stuff in ways I've never heard before. Like that thing with the inventors. It's obvious, but also kind of profound." "What with the inventors?" "What I was telling you. Everything evolves except spiritual practices. Scratch the surface of even the most far-out New Age actualization workshop, you're going to find that Buddhists or Hindus or Taoists or Sufis or esoteric Jews or Christians, someone got there before you. Nothing's really changed. Maybe I'm jealous because when I suggested he couldn't just blow up the Diamond Sutra, he said it was in the rough." "Great line," Leila laughed. "Just a second, I'm going to go get the whipped cream." "I'll cut up the peaches. Do they need maple syrup?" "You think everything needs maple syrup." "True." He walked into the kitchen to get the next course and was talking before he got back on the porch. Who cares if he even knows what he's saying? Maybe the Buddha didn't even know what he was saying. Maybe it's just another example of how Sid is the ultimate contrarian. Always worked for him in business. He knows when to buy, he knows when to sell, and he knows when to hold. So when he reads some muckamuck talking about right speech or right action or right livelihood, he'll find some way to make it wrong. Well, I don't know, at least question it, make it no big deal. He paused. Unbelievable. "Sid or the peaches?" Leila asked. "Both." Marcus took another bite before continuing. "I mean, Jesus, Leila, when it comes right down to it, all he's done is use a few phrases and words, enlightenment, Gautama, Maya, right action, that anyone could grab in 2 minutes off Wikipedia. But he's twisted them in some idiot savant way that's throwing me. I gotta get Kesey up here to take him on." "Good idea," Leila said, trying to hit the pause, if not stop button. "Zoom him." "Sid? No, Kesey." He's probably leading some after-dinner meditation. Or having one of his students lead it, she laughed. Good point. Marcus reached for his laptop on the side table behind him. Leila sat back and ate her peaches and cream. By the way, some people wonder why, since I don't put anything behind a paywall, they should bother paying for a subscription. No need to wonder. I'll tell you why. 1, you get a paperback of Season 1 and a Sid Ohm cap. 2, Sid adds to his legal defense fund in case they try to cancel his forthcoming late-night TV show. And 3, the Buddha learns you can put a price on good karma. If you want to pay for your subscription, just go to davidbliston.substack.com. Either way, thanks for listening.